Good evening, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Together with the Presidential Communications Office, we bring you the latest, widest, and most comprehensive news coverage from the People's Television, IBC, Philippine News Agency, Philippine Information Agency, and the Presidential Broadcast Service. I'm Joe Fernandez from Radyo Pilipinas, and welcome to Balitang Pambansa. Tonight's headlines. Prices of firecrackers soar in the fireworks capital of the Philippines, Bukawi, Bulacan on New Year's Eve. Firecracker-related injuries jumped to 188 cases ahead of New Year, a 52% hike compared to last year. The Philippine Coast Guard strengthens its search and rescue operation for the missing crew member after a cargo vessel sinks off northern Samar. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s economic reforms and fiscal policies provide more opportunities, help boost the economy, and uplift the lives of Filipinos. Foreign Philippine offshore gaming operators or Pogo workers who will not leave the country will now be blacklisted. As the new year approaches, many people are busy buying fireworks to celebrate the occasion. Vendors report a high demand for various types of firecrackers, with prices varying. PTV's Rod Lagusad tells us more.
This New Year's Eve, crowds of last-minute shoppers are flocking to buy fireworks as this become a part of their tradition in welcoming the New Year. Billy traveled all the way from Tondo, Manila to Bukawi, Bulacan to buy fireworks this New Year's Eve.
Para sa amin, hindi talaga mawawala. Parang parata, every year ganun talaga. Mas maingay, mas maganda, mas maswerte. Papasok yung mga good fortune.
Among the fireworks he bought were rounds of sawa, aerial fireworks, and fountains. Billy, who's from Quezon City, also bought fireworks today. But for this year, he was being a bit more frugal with his purchases.
Usually talaga dito ako bumibili. Ngayon lang nagka-oras na bumiyahe ng Bukawi. Tapos uwi na ulit ng Manila.
He bought some sawa and kwitis for the New Year celebration later. They're just the two of many shoppers this New Year's Eve in Bukawi. According to Dayan, a vendor, many people have already been buying since December 29, including those who placed pre-orders.
Madami pa rin pong tao ngayon na hindi na ubos. Parang ganitong rush hour po talaga, dagsaan po yung tao. Tingin ko po mas dadami pa kasi alam naman po natin may mga Pilipino. Pagka ganyan rush hour, doon dumadating, doon humahabol.
She mentioned that some fireworks prices have gone up while others have become cheaper. The best sellers are aerial fireworks, priced from 550 pesos, while the most expensive can reach 45,000 pesos, depending on the number of shots. Fountains, which are also in demand, ranging from 3,100 pesos for the smallest ones up to 1,500 pesos for the larger ones. The famous sawa starts at 180 pesos for the cheapest.
Malakas naman yung benta ngayon compare po dati. Parang pandemic pa po. Parang mahigpit pa. Pero ngayon po, mas okay yung bentahan.
To ensure the safe selling of fireworks, there is a fire extinguisher available in the store and they reprimand customers who smoke. In addition, firefighters from the Bureau of Fire Protection are on standby in the area. From PTV Manila, Rod Lagusad, Balitang Pambansa.
The number of firecracker victims brought to East Avenue Medical Center has increased this year compared to last year. PTV's Gab Villegas has the details.
East Avenue Medical Center has been under code white alert in preparation for the expected surge of firecracker victims this New Year revelry. As of 6 a.m., the number of firecracker victims taken to EAMC has reached 12. According to EAMC spokesperson Dr. John Paul Nair, 10 of them have returned home, while 2 still remain confined and are under observation. A patient suffered a blast injury requiring a finger amputation after being hit by a 5-star. Another patient suffered burn injury due to whistle bomb. According to the hospital, this number is higher compared to last year where only 3 cases of firecracker-related injuries were recorded. EAMC warns the infection caused by tetanus may result in the scarring of a body part if the patient is not taken to the hospital immediately.
Ina-advise namin na yung mga biktima ng paputok na pumunta agad sa pinakamalapit na hospital or health facility para matingnan sila at magamot.
The EAMC also monitors cases of stroke victims. According to Health Department's data, from December 22 until December 30, patients who experienced stroke and heart attack reached 103. Excessive alcohol and food consumption is one of the considered causes of holiday heart syndrome.
Eat and drink moderately dapat sa mga ganitong panahon.
Doctors also showed the process in treating firecracker injured victims. The patient is first taken to triage to assess the severity of the injury. He or she will be taken to the firecracker-related injury area where the wounds will be cleaned or sutured. And if the damage is severe, the patient will be taken to a dedicated operating room to be amputated. Doctors also showed the equipment being used for the operation.
This one is the bone saw. So, bale, for amputation levels na po ito. Also used for amputation. So, ganito po yung hawak niya. And then, these are, ito po yung rongeur. So, this is what we use to remove necrotic tissues from the bone po. And then, this is called the bone file. So, this is what we use to refine the edges of the bone, whether it is fractured or amputated. And this is the pin cutter po. Since we usually use the pins to provide provisionary to revise our implants po.
Let us welcome the coming new year with family and loved ones and with complete body parts. From People's Television Network, Gabo Wilde Villegas for Balitang Pambansa.
The Department of Health, or DOH, reported a total of 188 firecracker-related injuries as of 6 a.m., higher than 124 cases recorded last year. 152 victims are age 19 and below, and 172 injured are male. 122 cases, or 72%, are due to illegal firecrackers such as Boga, 5-Star, and Piccolo, while 123, or 65% of cases, are active users. The Health Department urged the public to avoid firecrackers, report illegal sales, and keep children away from hazardous items. Safer alternatives include noisemakers and attending community fireworks displays. The DOH also advised having a first aid kit on hand and supervising children. The Philippine National Police, or PNP, seized over 535,000 illegal firecrackers worth 2.5 million pesos and arrested 34 people to ensure a safer New Year's Eve. Based on the report of the Philippine News Agency, the police also recorded 18 cases of indiscriminate gunfire, 4 stray bullet injuries, and 172 firecracker-related injuries. Police urge officers not to use their firearms during the celebration. Meanwhile, in Central Luzon, 261 firecracker zones and 133 fireworks display zones were set up. Authorities reminded the public to avoid illegal fireworks and celebrate safely. As the New Year nears, Filipinos continue the tradition of serving round fruits for luck, but prices have increased due to higher supplier costs. Fruits like guava and grapes are now 300 pesos per kilo, while mango and dragon fruit cost 250 pesos per kilo. Despite slower sales this year, vendors in Binondo, Manila remain hopeful, offering Lucky Charms and Tikoy, which are priced from 50 pesos to 300 pesos. The search and rescue operation is ongoing for a missing crew member after a cargo vessel sank off northern Samar. Mariners in the area are advised to exercise caution due to rough sea condition. Philippine Information Agency Eastern Visayas Rayan Arinto gives us an update live via phone patch. Good evening, Rayan.
Yes, Joe, the Philippine Coast Guard continues its active search and rescue operation for a missing crew member of the cargo vessel MV Jerlene Katniss, which sank off the coast of Lavisares, northern Samar due to rough seas. More vessels have been deployed to intensify the search for the missing crew member after the vessel went down yesterday afternoon. This morning, the Office of Civil Defense in Eastern Visayas has coordinated with the Tactical Operations Group 8 based in Tacloban City to deploy an air asset for search and retrieval operations. The OCD also provided hygiene kits for the rescued crew while arranging transportation in coordination with the vessel's local authorities and its Central Visayas counterpart. So far, 14 individuals have been accounted for, 13 rescued alive, 1 confirmed dead, and 1 still missing. Joint efforts by the Coast Guard, the municipality of Allen, and nearby towns of northern Samar have been underway since this morning to expedite the search. The Philippine Coast Guard has also issued an advisory urging all ships and sea crafts transiting northern Samar to take extra precautions due to prevailing rough sea conditions. In a separate incident last Sunday, 2 lives were lost when a motorboat capsized in Lauang, northern Samar after being struck by strong waves. Authorities continue to appeal to mariners to exercise caution as weather conditions in the area remain unpredictable. From the Philippine Information Agency, Eastern Visayas, with reports from Eileen Diaz of PIA Northern Samar, this is Rayan Arinto, Balitang Pambansa.
Thank you so much, Rayan Arinto from Philippine Information Agency, Eastern Visayas. Good evening. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. is focused on economic reforms under the Bagong Pilipinas banner, aiming to improve lives through liberalization, privatization, and globalization. In 2024, the chief executive promised to strengthen the economy, especially agriculture, after inflation dropped. His plans include investing in infrastructure like irrigation and flood control. He also eyes to align the country with global standards, modernizing maritime practices, and upskilling workers in digital and green industries through international partnerships. President Marcos Jr. has pushed for digital transformation, leading to Google expanding in the Philippines. Privatization like the Gandian Airport upgrade and Batangas Port expansion is boosting regional growth and creating jobs. The Department of Trade and Industry, or DTI, announced investments approved under the administration of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. reached 1.62 trillion pesos, surpassing the 2024 target of 1.5 trillion pesos. The amount is also higher than the approved investments last year, worth 1.26 trillion pesos. The energy sector, particularly the projects in renewable energy, saw the biggest growth, hitting 1.38 trillion pesos. The Philippine Economic Zone Authority, or PEZA, also exceeded its 200 billion peso target for 2024, recording 214.17 billion pesos in approved investments. Trade Secretary Cristina Roque attributed these achievements to strategic foreign trips by the chief executive, which helped attract more investments. PEZA reported nearly half of its 2.84 billion pesos in investments for March 2024 came from these overseas efforts. Up next, the Commission on Election ramps up its preparations for the 2025 polls. Task Force Canlaon lays out comprehensive contingency plans amid Canlaon volcano's eruption threat. Don't go away. Balitang Pambansa will return after a quick break.
Tulad ng matyagang pagtatanim at paghihintay sa pagsibol mula sa isang maliit na binhi, ganoon din nagsimula ang isang organisasyon sa Zamboanga, Sibugay. Si Larry Valenciano ay ang chairman ng Bato Farmers Cooperative sa CI Zamboanga, Sibugay. Ikinuwento niya kung paano nagsimula ang kanilang organisasyon noong 1991 bilang isang farmers association at naging isang kooperatiba noong 1994 na may 26 na mga miyembro.
Sa una, nagsugod ni as a farmer association, mainly sa among mga members was to invest in rice industry. And when we discovered that the calamansi industry is more profitable than rice, then we shift to the calamansi industry.
Mula sa kanilang simpleng pagsisimula sa pagtatanim ng palay at kalamansi, pinalawak na nila ang kanilang saklaw sa ibang mga produkto. Isa sila sa mga organisasyong nakatanggap ng iba't ibang farm machineries and equipment noong ika-24 ng Mayo. Sa isang engrandeng okasyon ng mga titulo ng lupa at makinarya na pinangunahan mismo ni Pangulong Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr.
Daghang salamat sa among pinakamalangga nga sekretary sa Department of Agrarian Reform, sa aming mahal na Pangulo, Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. Ito ang mga pag-unlad ng ating mga magsasaka dito sa Sibugay.
However, the executive branch is one with the people in raising concerns over appropriations that are not consistent with the country's development plan and responsive to the needs of the people. After all, it is our people whom we serve. We take our role as stewards of our taxpayers' money seriously. And for this reason, after an exhaustive and thorough review, we have directly vetoed over 194 billion worth of the line items that are not consistent with our program priorities. These include allocations for certain programs and projects of the Department of Public Works and Highways and those under the unprogrammed appropriations, which increased by 300%. We shall also pursue conditional implementation on certain items to ensure that the people's funds are utilized in accordance with their authorized and stated purpose.
PTV Consumer Watch, bantay presyo sa gasolina.
May mga nagsasabi na ang Pilipinas daw is a rich country pretending to be poor. Siguro hindi tama yun. We are actually a rich country which do not realize that we are rich. Mga kaibigan, samahan niyo po ako ng ating Tuklas Yaman.
Disaster Watch, mga paalala pagkatapos ng lindol. Suriin ang iyong sarili at mga kasama kung may tinamong pinsala. Magbigay ng paunang lunas kung kailangan. Unahin ang mga pangangailangan ng mga matatanda, buntis, may kapansanan at mga bata. Kung nasa tabing dagat at may banta ng tsunami, agad na lumikas papunta sa ligtas at mataas na lugar. Suriin kung may natapong nakalalasong kemikal at mga bagay na maaaring pagmula ng sunog. Huwag bumalik sa loob ng gusali hanggat walang abiso na ligtas na ito. Sa panahon ng sakuna, dapat laging listo.
The Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, will be very busy next year with 3 elections that will happen one after the other. COMELEC spokesperson Attorney John Rex Laujanco said the first election will be held on May 9, which will be both for national and local elections. The Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, or BARM, elections will follow. After a few months, the Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections will take place. The poll body assured the public it continues to prepare for these events, especially for the midterm elections. Starting January 2025, printing of millions of ballots will begin and is expected to be done by February or early March. The COMELEC will also continue its voter education program to guide voters, partnering with social media platforms.
Yung pong pagdedemo po namin ng ACM, sinasamahan na po namin yan ng aming mga voter education at information modules tulad ng, yun nga po, regulasyon ng social media, pagbabawal sa maling pangangampanya, tamang pagboto at yung laban po natin dun sa vote buying at vote selling. Ipinapakita po natin dito na wala namang mamimili ng boto kung wala magbebenta ng boto.
The Bureau of Immigration, or BI, announces today is the deadline of the mandatory departure of foreign Philippine offshore gaming operators, or Pogo workers. This following President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s total ban on Pogos. Those who fail to comply will be blacklisted and deported. Of the 33,000 workers, 26,000 to 28,000 have downgraded their visas. The BI is also focusing on smaller illegal Pogo operations and is coordinating with local authorities to apprehend violators. Department of Finance, or DOF Secretary Ralph Rector, proposed to increase PhilHealth's benefit packages for the 10 most common illnesses to better utilize its funds. According to the information gathered by the Philippine News Agency, the DOF chief suggested raising the benefit packages by 100% or even 200%. This came after the 2025 General Appropriations Act was signed, which did not allocate additional funds for PhilHealth. Secretary Rector noted the state health insurer has 280 billion pesos in reserve funds, plus a surplus of 150 billion pesos. The DOF will monitor PhilHealth spending to ensure funds are used effectively. Task Force Canlaon held an emergency meeting to discuss comprehensive contingency plans in response to Mount Canlaon's eruption threat. Led by the Office of Civil Defense, or OCD, the meeting focused on safety measures for evacuees, securing the expanded danger zone, and addressing the impact of ashfall on agriculture. Key actions include enhanced security by the Philippine National Police, or PNP, health checks on agricultural products in evacuation centers, and coordination to secure entry points to danger zone. Task Force Canlaon is committed to ensuring the safety of affected communities. The Department of Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD, has helped several surrogate mothers to reunite with their families just before the new year. These mothers were repatriated from Cambodia on December 29 after receiving a royal pardon. 3 mothers are with their babies, while 10 are expecting in 2025. 7 surrogate mothers and a baby have already been reunited, with 2 more mothers scheduled to return to their families on January 4. The 13 Filipino mothers were arrested in Cambodia in September for attempted cross-border human trafficking, sentenced to 4 years and later pardoned through the Philippine Embassy's efforts. Over 60,000 devotees of the Black Nazarene participated in the annual Thanksgiving walk at Quiapo Church, which started at midnight and circled surrounding streets. Despite the threat of rain, organizers were prepared and the light showers were seen as a blessing. The procession was a way of offering thanks to the Lord for answered prayers throughout the year. After the event, the float returned to the church, where it will stay until the next procession. Happy New Year once again, everyone. And of course, in behalf of Balitang Pambansa, may you have a blessed 2025. And that concludes our rundown of the latest, widest, and most comprehensive news and information from all across the nation. This is your trusted news source, always ready to inform and serve the Filipino people. Catch Balitang Pambansa again tomorrow, 7 a.m., 12 noon, 6 p.m., and 9:30 p.m. for more updates and developments. From Radyo Pilipinas, I'm Joe Fernandez, and this is Balitang Pambansa.
Ngayong taon, hindi maikakaila ang pag-unlad ng ekonomiya sa ilalim ng administrasyon ni Pangulong Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
13.51% ang ibinaba ng index crimes na naitatala sa bansa sa unang 11 buwan ng 2024.
I do not intend to yield. Filipinos do not yield.
Sumayin niyo po ang mga pinakamalaking achievements ng administrasyon base sa 8-point agenda.